Okay guys, today I'm going to make a little video to teach you how to never ever lose your Mavik Air or drone ever again. Let's do this. Okay guys, before we get into this hack, I actually just wanted to tell you a really quick story as to why I am making this video right now. About a month ago, I lost my Mavik Pro. I was going for a run in the morning, got back, it was a beautiful orange sky, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna send my drone up and see what it looks like from up there. So I went into my back garden, sent the Mavik Pro just up. I wasn't trying to fly it around, I just wanted to have it above my garden. So I flew it up about 1,000 foot. And I was looking down at my screen, and all of a sudden I clocked in the bottom left-hand corner the map that the Mavik was miles away from where I'd sent it up, which just seemed really strange to me. And then I realised the clouds were moving so quickly across the sky. I thought, oh, the wind speed up there must be so strong. So I went to fly it back, and then as I went to fly it back, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just hit the fly home button. So I hit the fly home button, which caused the Mavik Pro to just fly up into the air before flying back to me. And I literally stood there and watched in shock and horror as I saw the little arrow on the map moving further and further away from me, and then suddenly just lost signal. I'm just standing there in my garden at 8:30 in the morning, having just been for a run, sweating in my gym gear, just thinking, please come back. And the thing never came back. It just never came back. And it must have just got caught up in wind speeds, and that was it. And I just drove around looking for it, couldn't find it. Here's a couple of things for you. The drone doesn't have a GPS in it, so it doesn't tell you where it is. It just tells you where it's tracked on your phone. Even on the flight records, once the drone goes out of reach, the flight records stop there. They don't tell you where it landed. The flight records just tell you, while you can still see it on the screen, where it is. So even when I came in and I connected and put my flight records up, all it was it told me the last point the drone was 1,000 foot up in the air. So it could have been anywhere from there. It could have stayed airborne for another 15 minutes and continued to fly away. I went looking for it, but I mean, it's a joke that I even went looking for it, because you're just like finding a needle in a haystack. Now, my main concerns with this were, is this drone just going to land on someone, like land on a baby or something, or on a car? Or I was really nervous. I know I probably shouldn't have been flying it in a public area. I know there's all these laws, you've got to be miles away from anybody. But for me, I just thought it was going to go up above my garden and come straight back down. Fact of the matter is, it didn't. I contacted DJI, I said, look, this has happened. I sent them the flight records, and they said, look, we can give you 30% off a drone, which would cost something like £750. And that week, they released this, the Mavik Air, for £850. So I obviously ended up getting this one instead. It's a complete nightmare of a story, but I wanted to give you that story so you know why I've gone to these lengths with this new drone. So I've read a statistic that 30% of people who own drones lose them. They just lost and they'll never find them. I find it really strange that these things don't just have GPS trackers in them. Our phones have GPS trackers in them, but for some reason these things that fly around in the sky don't have them. I find that really strange. So, this is the hack that I've done. I bought a tiny GPS tracker. I bought this thing, I'm not sponsored by this company, it's called Rewire Security SpyTrack Nano. And what you get is this tiny little thing here, which you can turn on and sync up with your phone, and it's a little GPS tracker on your phone. I bought one that was small enough, and I tested it by putting it on the device and making sure that none of the wings hit it. I realized it was small enough for that to work. So the next thing I did as well, for packaging reasons, is I went out and bought super heavy duty double-sided sticky Velcro tape, which I'm not going to demonstrate it for you guys, cut a strip off, put it in the right spot here, and attach one part of the Velcro here and one part of the Velcro here. So now I can Velcro this on here, none of the wings hit it as it passes. It's ridiculously firm. I mean, seriously, this thing's not coming off at all. It's really good. That's not gonna fall. I think even if that fell and hit a tree, well, I mean, if it fell and hit a tree, you'll still be able to find this GPS tracker, and you can guarantee the drone's gonna be close by. So, in a nutshell, guys, that is my hack. Now, there's some of you thinking, well, is this this will probably affect the flight time and stuff like that. Well, to be honest with you, they say the battery on these things lasts about 21 minutes, but let's face it, after 15 minutes when your handset starts beeping saying low battery, we all just bring the drone back straight away anyway. None of us push our luck with it. So, you know, even if like you end up flying this thing back after 15 minutes rather than 21 minutes, I do that anyway. And just to show you that this thing does still fly even with this attached, I'm gonna fly it right here in this room, okay? Let's do this. Okay guys, just to prove to you that this thing can still fly and it doesn't get in the way of the wings or anything, I'm just gonna set this off in the house. Here we go. Never doing that again in my life. One last thing I want to say before I go is a little word of warning about these trackers. They're not real-time trackers. So for example, I tested it where I got my girlfriend to drive around the block with the tracker, expecting to see the little thing moving around the block with her on the mat on the mobile, and it doesn't. It just, what it does is like every 5 minutes or so it updates. Now when I first got it, that made me feel really nervous. But the reality is, if your drone crashes down somewhere, well, it's okay to wait 5 minutes for it to update to tell you where it is on the map. That's how I feel anyway. Okay, so just to show you, I just walked to the end of my street and along, and I left the little tracker just at the side of the road, and I've come home, and perfectly on my map, this is where I live, over here. I walked to here, and that is exactly where it is, okay? That's exactly where I left it. I've tested this a couple of times as well, because what I was worried about is the place where it would find it on the map would be roughly where it is. But actually, these things are very, very accurate. And the great news is you can zoom right in, and it tells you exactly where it is. And I've tested this a couple of times, and that pointer is always within a 3-meter radius of wherever it is. I am confident that if my drone ever flies away again, that will get me exactly where I need to know. That's going to tell me exactly where I need to go. Also, the company that do these basically make them for like kids, so you know, you put one in your kid's school bag or whatever, and they're very, very attentive. I emailed them once saying it wasn't working, and they phoned me within about 5 minutes. So these guys are taking this seriously. These things are about £69, and you have to also pay a subscription, which I think is something like £8 or $10 a month it would be. So you've got access to their online platform, you've got access to the app, you've got access to all that stuff, and their helpline and everything. So I haven't lost this drone yet to know whether this is absolutely amazing, but it looks good enough. And here's my final thoughts. Even if you get your drone insured, you cannot, from what I can see, insure it against loss. And if you can, it's probably going to cost a lot. And if you claim it, your insurance will probably go up loads. Whereas you can insure your drone against damage, you can get the care package with DJI. As long as you've got this, if your drone falls out of the sky miles away from wherever you live, you will always be able to find it and then claim the damage, okay? So, this is my little tip. It's a very long-winded way of saying, just get a GPS tracker and attach it to the thing, basically. But this is what I do, and I think this will stop me from ever losing it again. Obviously, it goes without saying that if your drone falls into a body of water like the sea, this probably isn't going to work. But if you're doing it over land, this thing will get you close enough that you'll be able to find your drone. That's what I'm planning on doing. I feel really good, I feel confident that I'm not going to lose it. And hopefully if you guys are thinking the same thing, like why don't they just put a GPS tracker in the drone? Oh, and it makes you want to rip your hair out. You can go out and buy separate GPS trackers to attach to your drone. I hope this has helped, guys. If the video has helped, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to come out with more little tips like that. If you are watching this video, you're probably nervous about the thought that you might lose your Mavik Air, so hopefully this has given you another idea or hack to make sure that you can prevent that from happening. Thanks for watching, guys.